سلام دوستان، سلام دوستان عزیز، سلام امید عزیز. امید جان بالا اومدن.
قربونه بشم.
واقعا امید از روزهای من میتونم بگم اول یک پشتوانه محکم برای این کمپین بوده. خدمت دوستان عزیزم، بخش اول دوستان منتظر خانم عبادی هستم که بالا بیاد. بخش اول رو ما به زبان فارسی سعی میکنیم با خانم عبادی برگزار کنیم. بخش دوم که نیم ساعت دوم هست با امید عزیز. سلام و درود خانم عبادی عزیز.
سلام بر رادمرد شجاع ایران.
فدای شما خانم عبادی عزیز.
خانم سلام بر شما دوست عزیز و همه هموطنان گرامی.
مرسی خانم عبادی. اگر موافق باشید اینجوری که برنامه هست نیم ساعت اول رو با شما ما به زبان فارسی انجام بدیم در ارتباط با ضرورت در لیست تروریستی قرار دادن سپاه پاسداران و بعد بخش دوم رو با امید عزیز به زبان انگلیسی برای اون دسته از عزیزانی که انگلیسی زبان هستند و به خصوص سیاستمداران بریتانیا که بعداً این فیلم احتمالاً یا اگر الان میبینن یا بعداً این فیلم به دستشون میرسه. اگر موافق باشید که شروع کنیم.
بله خواهش میکنم.
من که چیزی نمیگم به فارسی هم انقدر ضعیف شده. من دوستان گوش بدم اما it's all yours Mr. Body, all yours.
قربون شما برم امید عزیز. خانم عبادی، امید واقعا از میشه گفت اول این کمپین مثل یک ستون محکم پشت این کمپین بوده و فکر میکنم واقعا هر چقدر تونستن انجام دادن تا الان و قولم به من دادن، گفتن با هم هستیم تا این سپاه در لیست قرار بگیره و ادامه مسیر.
خیلی ممنون از شما و از امید نازنین.
خانم عبادی، امروز روز 40 که ما این حرکت رو شروع کردیم و همینطوری هم که شما میدونید خب ما سالهاست در ارتباط با همدیگه هستیم، در ارتباط با حقوق بشر و ارتباط با حقی که داره از هموطنانمون در ایران ضایع میشه توسط این ستمکارانی که حاکم شدن. ولی به یه جایی من رسیدم 40 روز پیش، به خصوص بعد از اینکه در طول این 6 ماه به اتفاق همسرم و دوستانمون در انجمن ملاقات‌های زیادی رو داشتیم با سیاستمداران انگلیسی، ولی دیدیم که اینا همشون هم حرف ما رو میزنن. میگن ما هم میخوایم که سپاه در لیست قرار بگیره مثل شما. میگیم پس چرا انجام نمیشه با توجه به این همه سند، این همه مدرک و طبق قانون باید انجام بشه. یعنی فقط همین یک قانون خانم عبادی که حزب الله توسط انگلستان در لیست سازمان‌های تروریستی، حامی اول حزب الله و اصلا به وجود آورنده حزب الله سپاه پاسدارانه. خب قانونا سپاه هم باید در لیست قرار بگیره. اونجا ما رسیدیم که 40 روز پیش دیدیم دیگه گفتگو اصلا فایده‌ای نداره. دست به این اقدام زدیم و از روز اولم اعلام کردیم که اینجا هستیم تا به شما نشون بدیم ما برای دفاع از آزادی، دفاع از دموکراسی، دفاع از ارزشامون حاضریم هزینه بدیم و پاشم وایسادیم تا امروز که روز 40. میشنوم نظر شما استاد عزیزم رو.
من مجدد سلام میکنم به همه هموطنان عزیز که این برنامه رو میشنون و درود میفرستم به شهامت و پایداری شما در خواسته برحقتون، در این که بنیانگذار و کمک کننده اصلی حزب الله لبنان دولت ایرانه. هیچ شکی نیست این را حتی سید حسن نصرالله در یک گفتگویی که در یوتیوب هم موجود هست عنوان میکنه که مهم نیست ما مورد تحریم آمریکا قرار گرفتیم، همه نیازهای خودمون رو از لباس، غذا، اسلحه، همه چی از دولت ایران میاد و بعد در کمال وقاحت اعلام میکنه تا زمانی که دولت ایران پول داره ما هم پول داریم. در حقیقت خودش رو مانند یک ایرانی شریک در بیت المال ایران می‌دارد. اون بیت المالی که در ایران صرف ساختن مدرسه و بیمارستان نمی شود و مردم ایران از جهت اقتصادی آنقدر ضعیف شده‌اند که دیگه احتیاج به گفتن و تعریف کردن نداره، سید حسن نصرالله به جای مردم ایران سر سفره بودجه ایران نشسته و در کمال شهامت اعلام میکنه تا زمانی که ایران پول داره ما هم پول داریم. خب این یه چیزی است که یعنی در حقیقت مسئله انقدر عیان و آشکاره که احتیاج دیگه به حجت و دلیل و برهان نداره. از سوی دیگر جمهوری اسلامی بدون حزب الله، بدون سپاه پاسداران هیچه و سپاه پاسداران در حقیقت نیروی نگهدارنده این حکومت ظالم و ستون اصلی است. امیدوارم که کسی سپاه رو با ارتش اشتباه نگیره، چون معمولا سیاستمداران غربی که خیلی هم آشنا به مسائل ایران نیستن عنوان میکنند اگر سپاه تحریم بشود خب پس از کشور شما چه کسی میخواهد حفاظت بکند. سپاه با ارتش رسمی فرق میکنه. در قانون اساسی قید شده سپاه برای حفظ نظام جمهوری اسلامی ایرانه. بنابراین تردیدی نیست که اگر سپاه ضعیف بشه حکومت ضعیف میشه و شاید به همین دلیله که دولت‌های غربی تعلل میکنند در تروریست اعلام کردن سپاه، زیرا که هنوز هم بوی نفت و چند سال قبل بوی انرژی هسته‌ای اجازه نداده بوی خون در ایران رو بشنوند و با چنین استدلال هایی که ارتش سپاه رو اگر تحریم بکنیم امنیت ایران صدمه میخوره، ما از این کار میشن. امنیت ایران صدمه نمیخوره اگر که سپاه رو تحریم کنند و جزء تروریست اعلام بکنند، بلکه ایران قوی تر میشه برای اینکه مردم یک گام به قدرت و دموکراسی نزدیک میشن. الان تمام سرکوب‌های داخل کشور توسط سپاه انجام میگیره و نیروهای مختلف سپاه از جمله بسیج اینا تمام زیر مجموعه سپاهه و ضمناً مسئله که حکومت اعلام میکند صدور انقلاب توسط سپاه انجام شده. یعنی دخالت‌های ایران در سوریه، در عراق، در در یمن توسط حوثی‌ها به وسیله سپاه انجام شده. سپاه یا خودش در این مناطق نیروی نظامی داره و یا اینکه آموزش میده و نیروی اسلحه میفرسته. تمام اینها باعث ناامنی منطقه شده. اگر دولت بریتانیا به امنیت ایران فکر نمی‌کنه، حداقل به امنیت سایر کشورها فکر کنه و با تحریم سپاه کمک کنه به آرامش منطقه. امیدوارم دم گرم شما و مردم ایران در آهن سرد سیاستمداران تأثیر کنه و بالاخره کار به جایی برسه که سپاه پاسداران رو تحریم بکنن. و اجازه بدید من در همین جا بگویم روزی که مردم پیروز بشوند و دموکراسی به ایران بیاید، هم در سپاه هم در سایر ارکان حکومت هر کس که دستش به خون مردم آلوده باشه بایستی پاسخگوی اعمالش باشه. اما در یک دادرسی عادلانه. ما عبرت گرفته ایم از آنچه که در ابتدای انقلاب اسلامی اتفاق افتاد و در محاکمات 5 دقیقه‌ای عده‌ای رو تیرباران کردند. این اشتباه یک بار دیگر در ایران تکرار نخواهد شد. اگر کسی محاکمه بشود در یک دادرسی عادلانه با ضوابط بین‌المللی و حق دسترسی به وکیل خواهد بود و کسانی از سپاه یا ارکان حکومت که دستشون به خون مردم آلوده نیست اینها در امان خواهند بود و اگر تخصصی هم داشته باشند بر حسب کاری که بلدن در سایر مشاغل مورد نیاز به کار گمارده خواهند شد. بنابراین کسانی که در سپاه هستند نترسند از این حرف، نترسند از اینکه مردم پیروز بشوند چه به سر اونها میآید. دستتون به خون مردم آلوده نباشه شما ایمن خواهید بود. اما تا زمانی که این حکومت سر کاره سعی کنید راهتون رو ای سپاهیان از مردم راهتون رو از حکومت جدا کنید به سوی مردم بیایید، زیرا که آینده شما با مردم یکیه. ایران آزاد بشه شما هم با خانواده با آزادی و راحتی بیشتری زندگی خواهید کرد.
خانم عبادی دقیقاً مسئله رو که شما مطرح کردید همین دلیلیه که سیاستمداران در اینجا میارن و من شنیدم اتفاقا دیروز یکی از سیاستمداران هم اینجا دوباره به خانم من گفته بود همین مسئله که سپاه یک بخشی از حکومت و حافظ ایرانه که ما گفتیم نه اصلا شما قانون اساسی رو بخونید. سپاه حافظ این نظامه، مسئولیتش صدور این ایدئولوژی به خارج از مرزهاست. ایران ارتش داره، اون ارتشی که مسئول حفاظت از مرزها و مردم ایرانه. به هر حال من امروزم که روز 40 بود 3مین نامه سرگشاده خودم رو به آقای ریشی سونک نوشتم و رفتم خانم عبادی اینجا الان تقدیمش کردم با یک منشور حقوق بشر، یک مجسمه از منشور حقوق بشر کوروش در یک جعبه‌ای گذاشتم و اینجا گفتم که این رو به دست آقای سونک برسونن و 3 نامه دیگه هم با یک کادوهای کوچک در روز 40 به 3 وزیر که یکیشون رو ملاقات کردم، یعنی اولین ملاقات رسمی با دولت روز 33 با آقای تام توگنهاد وزیر امنیت بود، به آقای تام توگنهاد و خانم سویلا وزیر کشور و به آقای جیمز کلولی وزیر خارجه فرستادم. گفتم من اهل گفتگوام و شما هر بهانه‌ای که داشته باشید برای اینکه سپاه الان نباید در لیست قرار بگیره، من پاسخ قاطع و دلیل بسیار قاطع و سند قاطع و قانع کننده برای اون دارم. بنابراین اینجا نشستم و از اینجا هم تکون نمیخورم که شما بدونید کسانی هستن که حاضرن هزینه بدن، حتی طبق فرمایش حضرت خود سرکار وقتی فرمودید که اگر واسه مردم ایران، ما نمیخوایم به مردم ایران، شما امنیت رو در کشور خودتون باید الان بهش بپردازید، چون سپاه الان وسط لندنه. طبق خود گزارش MI5 که میگه 15 تا کیس تروریستی، یعنی تروریستی توسط نیروهای سپاه اینو کشف کردن فقط در 1 سال در انگلستان. یا همین برنامه‌ای رو که واسه ایران اینترنشنال پیاده کردن. خب گفتم آقا شما فردا ممکنه همین خبرگزاری گاردین که اومده بود با من مصاحبه میکرد و خبرگزاری اسکای نیوز، گفتم ممکنه فردا نوبت شما بشه، یعنی بیان و از شما بخوان که شما هم رسانتون رو ببندید. یعنی این خطری که برای آزادی و دموکراسی و ارزش‌های خود این کشور الان وجود داره و اتفاقا اون روی اون جایی که من انگشت گذاشتم همینه. میگم شما برای خودتون باید امروز این کار رو انجام بدید. در دیداری که داشتم در روز 33 با نماینده دولت، گفت ما قاطعانه میخوایم این کار رو بکنیم ولی نمیتونیم بیشتر از این به تو توضیح بدیم و زمانش هم نمیتونیم بهت بگیم. گفتم اتفاقا من به همین خاطر اینجا هستم، وگرنه من میدونم ممکنه شما 6 ماه 1 سال دیگه بخواید این کار رو بکنید، ولی الان ما باید این کار رو بکنیم و شما باید بدونید که ممکنه بدن یه دونه از شهروندان خودتون رو دستتون بمونه. اون موقع هزینه داره واسهتون، چون من اینو متوقف نمی‌کنم. از روز اول به شما گفتم در تصمیمی که گرفتم قاطعم، ذهنم و روان و روحم رو تنظیم کردم. نمیدونم بدن فیزیکی چقدر بکشه، نمیدونم، ولی از لحاظ ذهنی و روانی و روحی تنظیم شدم با این مسئله. همین الان هم 2 تا قبل از این برنامه که ما خیلی بدو هم داشتیم تا رسیدیم، همین 2 تا مصاحبه بیرون چادر بود که اومده بودن و اتفاقا آقای ردکلیف هم الان همینجاست بیرونه که آقای و گفت خبرنگاره گفت که خیلی خوبه که تو آقای ردکلیف و آقای انوشه رو داری. گفتم آخه اینا با پوست و گوشتشون این مسئله رو احساس کردن و میدونن. مسئله تنها مردم ایران نیستن. امروز هر کسی قلبش برای حقوق بشر و برای انسانیت بتپه میگه باید اینا در لیست قرار بگیرن و این کار رو ما می‌ایستیم اینجا تا با هم دیگه انجام بدیم.
موفق باشید. خواست شما خواست همه مردم ایرانه. ببینید در تمامی مواردی که راجع به سپاه صحبت میشه از سوی مردم ایران، چه در شعارهایی که میدن هنگام تجمعات، چه در گروه‌های سیاسی، در بیانیه‌هایی که می‌نویسن، این اعلام بیزاری از حکومت و همچنین مهمترین عامل نگهدارنده و حفاظت از حکومت یعنی سپاه پاسداران دیده میشه. و اجازه بدید یک بار دیگه خطاب به افرادی که در سپاه خدمت میکنن بگویم به سوی مردم بیایید، از سرتون زمین بگذارید و ننگ همراهی با جمهوری اسلامی رو برای خودتون و بچه‌هاتون نخرید. آزادگی رو انتخاب بکنید و نترسید از اینکه اگر سپاه تروریست اعلام بشود به سر شما چه می آید. نترسید سپاهیان از اینکه اگر در ایران دموکراسی بشه و نظام برود سر شما چه می آید. کسانی که دستشون به خون آلوده است طبیعیه، این قانون طبیعته، این قانون الهیه، بایستی پاسخگوی اعمال خودشون باشد. اما در یک کار بسیار عادلانه کسانی که دستشون به خون آلوده نیست، خواهش میکنم، مادرانه از شما خواهش میکنم، راهتون رو همین الان تا دیر نشده از جمهوری اسلامی جدا کنید، بیایید به سمت مردم، از حکومت جدا بشید. این حکومت لرزانه، طولی نخواهد کشید که سقوط بکنه. به فکر آینده خودتون و بچه هاتون باشید. اگر که دستتون به خون آلوده نیست، کسی با شما کاری نداره. همه ما تضمین میدهیم کسانی که دستشون به خون آلوده نیست در امان خواهند بود و کسانی که مرتکب خطا شدن و دستشون به خون هموطنان آلوده شده در یک دادرسی عادلانه محاکمه خواهند شد. نترسید، سرنوشتشون رو به یک حکومت لرزان و ستمگر گره نزنید. آینده با مردم ایرانه، آینده با دموکراسی در ایرانه. بیایید به سوی آینده روشن‌تر و بدانید که مردم ایران و از جمله آقای بهشتی، وحید بهشتی، تا آخرین لحظه پای این ایستادند که ایران رو دموکرات بکنند و رژیم برود و در رفتن رژیم شما هم خواهید رفت. بنابراین زودتر صف خودتون رو از صف حکومت جدا کنید و در این حال دولت مردان غربی به ویژه انگلیسی بدانند این راهی است که دیر یا زود بایستی بروید. هر چی دیرتر حرف مردم رو، درخواست مردم رو بشنوید، کار شما در فردای ایران سخت‌تر خواهد بود. دوستی خودتون رو با مردم ایران نشان بدید. نشان بدید. شما که سالها حرف از حقوق بشر و حمایت از حقوق بشر زدید، عملا هم اون رو انجام میدید و گوش کنید به حرف آقای بهشتی. بسیار استدلال خوبی رو آوردن. اگر به فکر مردم ایران نیستید، به فکر مردم خودتون باشید. امنیت رو داخل مرزهای خودتون رعایت بکنید. دیگه بیش از این حرفی نیست. در خانه اگر کس هست، یکف بس است.
خانم عبادی واقعا سپاسگزارم ازتون. امروز من همین رو گفتم واسه خودتون. من 2 تا از صحبتایی رو که سران سپاه اعلام میکنن و همین خورده پاهاشون، گفتم اینا میگن که ما یکی از اهدافمون اینه که کاخ سفید رو تبدیل به حسینیه کنیم، باکینگام پالاس هم، کاخ باکینگام اینجا رو هم تبدیل به مسجد بکنیم. گفتم اینا ایدئولوژیشون اینه. بعد شما میشینید سر یه میز میخواید با اینا سیاست مماشات رو انجام بدید. این کار نکرده 44 سال سیاست مماشات، از این به بعدم کار نمیکنه. اینا فقط یک زبان میفهمن. گفتم اینا فقط زبان زور و یک حکومت مستقر محکمی رو که در مقابلشون بیسته میفهم. این پیام من بوده به اینها و تکرارم کردم، گفتم قطع به یقین ما این راه رو تا اون جایی که بدنمون بکشه ادامه میدیم تا به نتیجه برسیم. به هر حال خیلی سپاسگزارم از شما خانم عبادی.
خیلی ممنون از شما و مراقب خودت باش. برای پیروزی تو خاص همه مردم ایرانه. مراقب سلامت خودت باش.
فداتون بشم، فدای شما. مرسی خانم عبادی که با ما بودید. بخش اول رو خیلی سپاسگزارم از شما که همیشه با وجود حمایت‌های شما واقعا آدم میتونه این راه رو ادامه بده و محکم بر سر مواضعش بایسته.
ممنونم. خدا نگهدار شما. مرسی. خدا
مرسی. قربون شما برم.
خدا. خدا.
Okay, Mr. Omid.
Is it 5:30 now? What time is it now?
I think it's about so we got 2 extra minutes.
2 extra minutes. Well,
so we got it's 5:28.
5:28. Okay. Well, first of all, I have to say that I'm so pleased to be here with you. We met about 10 days ago, I think it was, and when we were actually less. No, was it 6? When was it? Day 32, 33? When was it when I came?
I can't remember, to be honest.
I
don't know. It was. I think it was. No, you came before Alicia come down. I think. Did you, or it was after?
I came just after Alicia. I tried to arrange for Alicia to come down, and then Alicia came. Okay. So I had
Alicia
to
come. Alicia came on the day 26.
Okay, I think I came just a couple of days after that. But first of all, I think it's very important that for the English version here, as we've got about 346 people are watching. We've just lost a few. As soon as I start speaking English, we start losing followers. That's what normally happens with me. Anytime I tweet, anytime I put an Instagram post, I lose followers. But the most important thing is we're day 40 now, which is incredible to me that you haven't eaten any food. You're here, you're hunger striking, and because it's an English language one, I thought we'd talk about who you are, what you're doing, and why you're doing it. And I think that's the most important thing for English people and for British people to know, because what you're doing is essentially not just for the people of Iran, but for people here too. So I can introduce you as Wahid Beheshti. If people are listening now, if there are British people who are watching this is Wahid Beheshti, a very well-known and well-respected journalist who has now, if correct me if I'm wrong, after the Metropolitan Police told Iran International to move and leave their London offices because they couldn't protect them, that is when you decided that you should go on a hunger strike, because we're being pushed around by what is essentially a group that you believe should be on the international terrorist list. And there is a list which people don't know. On that list is ISIS, Hezbollah, there's a whole bunch of things. But the IRGC, which is the Islamic Republican Guard Corps, who are a military wing of the Islamic Republic, and their only existence is to protect the regime and to make sure they stay as a regime, the Islamic Republic. You believe they should be on the terrorist list. So maybe you can tell me something more about why you're doing this.
So as you said, for those who don't know me, I have been a human rights activist and journalist for past 16 years. And this act didn't happen overnight, Omid John. So specifically in past 6 months, we had many meetings and 2 conferences inside the parliament, the UK parliament, focusing on proscribing IRGC. And the process was moving smoothly, and we were expecting this to happen in 2 or 3 weeks' time. Suddenly, we experienced kind of obstacle. And when we done our research and homework, we found that the obstacle is from the Foreign Office. And it's not actually, as Alicia Kern explained to all of us, it's not from the politicians from this country. They said Americans asked the government, British government, to hold back because they are in the middle of hostage exchange. So I get to this understanding and conclusion. I'm talking to whomever I'm talking, they are having the position as us. So majority of politicians and leaders in UK, they are pro-prescribing IRGC. As exactly what happened on the day 33 in my meeting with Tom Tugendhat. So he was pro this, even more radical than me. That's why I said after 15 minutes, there is no point me and you talking to each other because I'm talking to the converted person. So just take my message to our Prime Minister. So when I get to this understanding and realization, I thought, so I can put it this way. Our leaders and politicians, they need more motivation and awareness. And thus, that's not going to happen by just having meeting and writing and having conferences anymore. So they need something solid. And for me, it was really difficult. It wasn't an easy decision. I had to give up many things. My normal daily life, many things on the side there. So when I
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Vahid. So, so you're saying that the UK government is pro-prescribing the IRGC as a terrorist organization. Why is this so important? What are you hoping to achieve? To make British people understand, why is it so important that we do this?
For British people, it's very important to understand this. I am not here, as you explained, not for the people of Iran just, or the people of Ukraine, or the people of Middle East. I am here for us, because today we have IRGC in here, home, in middle of London, UK. If IRGC is capable to shut down one TV station in London, and Metropolitan Police turned back to the journalist of this TV station and said, we are not capable to guarantee your safety and security anymore, and for this, for some time, even 1 minute, for some time, you need to relocate from here to DC. And from the other side, we look at the report of MI5, which revealed 15 attempts of assassination by IRGC's agent in just 1 year. So that shows to us IRGC here. It's here now. And 2 days after Iran International shut down their office here in London, Hossein Salami, the head of IRGC, proudly and publicly announced, yes, it was because of our threat. They did that, and we are capable to do a lot more, and we will do it when it's necessary.
Fantastic. So let me reframe my question. How does prescribing them on the terrorist list weaken their influence across the globe?
Exactly. Because now our government, few times they sanctions few of their leaders, but these sanctions are not effective enough. I would say they might be effective, but long term, because these people and leaders of IRGC, they are not leaving Iran at all. So they laughing at us when we put sanction on them. So sanction
is very different from prescribing them as a terrorist organization.
Yes, exactly. So sanction is not effective enough. That's the first one. But why prescribing them? It's going to have it's going to be very effective, and it's going to put proper limitation on their operation outside of Iran and terrorist activities outside of Iran, and even create a massive crack inside the body of IRGC. So let me explain this.
By the way, I'll just say one thing about sanctions. I agree with you, because sanctions, when you sanction people, you're doing it with the expectation that they will change their behavior. But we've seen over the last 44 years, they don't change their behavior. So to sanction the IRGC is a bit like you're being attacked by a bunch of zombies, and you approach them and you politely ask them, would you consider a vegan diet? So that's the kind of nonsense that sanctions. But now explain to us how prescribing them will make a big difference. How does it put the cracks in?
So to put the cracks in, IRGC at the moment has been prescribed by America. So they are in the list of terrorist organizations of America. After they prescribe here, so the members of IRGC which start leaving IRGC, it's been about 3-4 months now, because they have no legitimacy inside of Iran, and they understand majority. When I'm talking about majority, I'm talking about at least 8% of Iranians are against them.
Absolutely.
So, and when they see they moved to another list of terrorist organization by the country like UK, which has a big influence around the world, so they are not going to be happy to be part of this organization.
Right.
And it's started about 3 months now. But this is going to hit another, I would say, give another hit to this, and we will definitely see this, because I'm getting my news from inside of Iran. I am in contact with many of my the family of the prisoners, and with even the family of some of these IRGC's members, which they are not happy, for example, with their husband or with their dad who's working for IRGC.
People, yeah.
So yes, so this the family of the members put pressure on them as well. So by putting them on another list of terrorist organization, that's going to be another push to it. This is
so
just
to make that clear, so what you're saying, so the massive crack would be for the soldiers of the IRGC. It gives them some kind of exit strategy that if they don't want to be part of a terrorist organization. Because of the Nuremberg trials, all the Nazi generals, they were the ones who were on trial. The soldiers were not. They can leave, basically. So that's the main crack. That's a very good point, well made.
And not even the soldiers. I'm talking even about I said from the top to the bottom, right, because they know even if they leave Iran, go to Iraq or other the countries around Iran, it might happen what happened to Qasem Soleimani, because now they are in the terrorist list of UK as well.
Right.
So this the first part. But the second part, it's their financial sector. That's the most important thing for IRGC. So outside the country, when they place on, for example, our terrorist list of organizations, the companies like Chinese companies and Indian companies, which these days they are dealing a lot with Iranian companies, which majority of these Iranian companies are connected to IRGC.
But
majority of
Chinese companies putting money into Iran. Yeah.
So these companies, they have a choice then to deal with UK companies or Iranian companies.
Right.
Of course, they are going to choose UK companies because the benefit that they get from Iranian companies, which they are connected to IRGC, is nothing compared to UK companies.
Right.
So from the other side, we can put another limitation on the financial sector, which is very important for their terrorist operation outside of Iran.
So can I get that right? So let me get this right. So what you're saying, if you prescribe them a terrorist organization, countries that are pouring in a lot of money, like China and India, into the Islamic Republic of Iran, will be less inclined to do that and will redirect their funds maybe to the UK or other countries because of this, because they are a terrorist organization.
Yes, because exactly, because if they're working with these companies and the UK find out about they are working with the company which they are connected with IRGC, so they're going to be a penalty for them. So they are not going to do that. So, and they are not going to be able to work with UK companies. Of course, in this, when they have a choice of working with UK companies or the companies which connected to IRGC, they're going to choose UK companies. And this is just two side of this. But it's going to have mass. Why IRGC? This is a question, Omid. Why IRGC's main, I would say, their main, the main thing that they ask from US to join JCPOA was removing the IRGC from the list of terrorist organizations.
Right.
So that was their main request from the America.
The JCPOA.
Because it's very important.
Right.
It's very important for them. And they are the one who only understand how effective is going to be prescribed by UK government. And we know after they prescribe by UK government, the other countries easily put them on the list after here. So this, the prescription of IRGC by UK government make the way easier for other countries like Australia, like Canada, and like the other 27 countries of EU to prescribe IRGC.
So would you say, this is very interesting what you're saying. So it's actually very, very, because already the IRGC is on the terrorist list in America. Now we can make Brexit actually be one of the few benefits of Brexit, that the UK is a separate sovereign entity. So if they prescribe the IRGC as a terrorist organization, and I understand there's no legal reason to start. I know Joseph Borrell was saying there's a legal reason. You're saying there's absolutely no, and all my lawyer friends, King's counsels, there's nothing at all stopping it. Once the UK does it, then the European Union, there's more pressure for them to do it as well, and other countries. Is that correct?
Exactly. That's correct. And they are terrorists. That's the question for our leaders, Omid Jan. Why our leaders are stepping on all our international protocols telling us we shouldn't negotiate with terrorists,
right,
with hostage takers. We shouldn't sit down round one table with terrorists and hostage takers. Appeasement policy, that was my one part of my conversation with Tom Tugendhat. It was about this. Appeasement policy didn't work for past 44 years with this government and with IRGC. We couldn't change their ways. We couldn't. And they become more aggressive and more aggressive and more aggressive. Why? We should look into what path we were following. So definitely we made a mistake somewhere in between. Appeasement policy not working with them. The only language IRGC understand is pressure and strong leadership. They only change their ways if we stand strongly in front of them.
So what you're saying also, on top of prescribing them on the terrorist list, it's a bit like whenever we were talking about during the World Cup, we do scrunch and snip, which was the way of showing support to the women of Iran, but it was also scrunch and cut ties. So by cutting ties, it stops us. When you say the appeasement, it's basically they keep taking hostages, we keep negotiating with them, and this just goes on, this perpetuates forever and ever. So you're saying if we prescribe them and then have no, where do you think this will lead? If there's just no communication with these people, where will that lead in a geopolitical sense? Make us understand.
They they are the one who understand there is a strong leadership in front of them, which they are not going to buy their policies anymore, which they are not going to play in their ground, which they lay for them anymore. So they need to change their ways after that. Not we constantly co-op with them and synchronize ourselves and our politicians and our policy with them, and we couldn't stop them for past 40
So what you're saying, by negotiating them, we're supporting them. That's what you're saying.
This is exactly what they want. They said, Omid John, they said this publicly and announced proudly. This is what they said. They constantly buying time. They have a target, and they moving toward that target step by step, regardless of what we do. But they making us busy with this stuff. But they are doing what they are focusing on.
Right. Are you aware? I heard this from some lawyers that there was a court case where America was suing the Islamic Republic for billions for blowing up a big army barracks in Saudi Arabia, and they wanted $7 billion. And in the international courts, the Islamic regime said, we don't recognize America because we are a terrorist state. And I think the international courts said, you have to prove that you're a terrorist state. And over the next few years, the Islamic Republic successfully proved that they were a terrorist state. So they didn't get sued, and it was all gone. So it is interesting. We seem to be, by negotiating them, we're supporting them in what they're saying about themselves, which is actually, look, we're getting lots of hearts because it's dark humor, but it's actually quite true. So my question to you, I think for everyone to know, how far are you prepared to go? You're day 40. And I remember texting you saying, I'm very concerned about your health. And you said, Omid John, I'm very concerned about humanity and I'll do whatever it takes. What does that mean? When you say I'll do whatever it takes, how far are you prepared to go?
Omid John, I set my mind and I can say my spirit to continue this. I don't know how long my body will co-op with me and walk with me. But my mind is set till the end, till we achieve this together, not just, as I said, for the people of Iran, not just for the people of Middle East, for people of Ukraine, for us here, for our safety and security in the UK, for our values here, for human rights, for humanity. And I will go till we achieve it. Maybe my body in middle of the way, if the 40 days gone now, I am here. This morning I waited, I lost more than 13 kilos now.
Amazing.
So, and I think my picture this morning showed everything, because I always wear many layers and it won't show, but this morning, in the picture of this morning showed everything. I'm prepared, but my mind is very focused and I have a very strong mind, and I would say I am very determined on this way. Depends on my body. I don't know how long my body will co-op. Until I'm aware, I will continue.
I think those of us who are, there was a film about the life of Bobby Sands, who was, I believe he lasted 67 days before he eventually died. You're day 40. So technically, from what we understand about hunger striking, you don't seem to have any fear about being 27 days away from your life ending. You are somehow able to keep going. You sound coherent. You sound clear. You seem to be walking and moving around. When is the cutoff point? I know your wife is there. We're all concerned about you. We love you. We care for you. Is there a point where you're, from my calculations, you're 2 or 3 days away from being hospitalized? Have they said that they're taking you to hospital?
And that's the normal circumstances. But I said, it really depends, the hunger struck with the mind, I would say, and internal being as well. I might be able to co-op more, because we've seen people who they've been on hunger struck and they carry on. They carried Dr. Farhad Meisami. He was on hunger strike for 120 days.
Oh my God.
So, and we saw the picture of him when they released his picture. It was, I think, a few weeks ago.
Incredible.
So I think it's really dependent how focused you are. But I said, I don't know. It depends to the body. My doctor checked me yesterday. He says, I'm very worried about your weight because you've gone over 17% of your weight, and this is from the perspective of my point of view, it's alarming to me. But your blood pressure, your heartbeat, and the other stuff is, I can say it, are normal. I don't know how that's
it's incredible.
But
I think it's the sign of having a righteous cause, and I think you have the support of everybody. I saw when Reza Pahlavi came to visit you, and you've had all kinds of politicians, everybody, Richard Radcliffe, Nazanin Zaghari Radcliffe, myself. A lot of people are coming down and supporting you, and it kind of makes sense what you're saying, that if ISIS and Hezbollah are on the terrorist lists, why not these people as well? Can you say something a little bit about just the recent events in Iran? Because I remember saying this to a couple of people. We've got Sizde Badar yesterday, which I think, if you can tell us, well, one thing is that we knew it's Ramadan where people are fasting, but then Sizde Badar, which is the Iranian tradition where people go out and picnic with the families. Oh, I'm just losing you there. Are you still there?
No. Yeah, I am here. I'm just gonna yes. Keep talking, Omid. I'm just finding
and I did flag up that there was a potential clash between the Islamic Republic of Iran and Iranian tradition, and that seems to have been happening. Can you say something about the videos we've seen where the IRGC seem to be attacking and arresting people on Sizde Badar eating where they're not supposed to be eating? And also we had the Iranian ambassador and all the consulate people in London eating in London and having Sizde Badar and enjoying that. Were you aware of those videos? Can you say anything about that?
Yes, I said, look, it's they are coming to the fight with our, I would say, culture. And when you are in the battle with the culture, especially Iranian culture, we witness many events in our history when the Mongols attack Iran and Arabs attack Iran, but they've been inhaled inside of our culture.
Right.
So when they tried to replace the anti-value instead of our values, they were always I would say, victim of this battle.
Yes.
This is, again, Sizde Badar, it's in our culture. They can't fight that. And yesterday people showed that again. They know that. They try to wipe the Nowruz for past 44 years. What happened to that? I said many times, Iranian government, the Islamic Republic of Iran, they understand more than anybody from any one of us. They understand more than all of us how close they are to collapse. How they are. They know they have a few months. I don't even call it a year. Nothing work in this government. I don't even call it the government. Look at their political aspect. Look at their financial aspect. Nothing work in that inside that country. So they know they cannot co-op and go like this, continue like this. They understand it, and people understand that as well. So that the woman life freedom revolution, it's something that started with the brutal death of Mahsa Amini 6 months ago, I think more than 190 days ago. And some people, they said, okay, no, it's quiet down. It's not quiet down. It's going to the different forms of fighting in the street, and people start fighting the regime in different ways. And I am sure, I am really positive, very soon all of us will witness the crowd again inside of the street of different cities in Iran.
I think what you're saying, and from what I understand, we were on a Twitter Spaces and we were listening to people inside Iran who said this is a revolution that is going to be executed by the people of Iran. We don't need any help. The only thing, when I asked them, is there anything we can do? And it's interesting that you've picked up on this. The only thing that will help is to put the IRGC on the terrorist list, because then that shows the people of Iran there is some kind of awareness and there is some kind of support for their battle. So I think that what you're doing by raising awareness is really extraordinary, Wahid John. And I just want to say to everyone, if anyone is in the area, I know there was a big party. It was an amazing thing yesterday. And by the way, you are in a tent. You're not in some kind of opium den. It looks like you're in a weird opium den in Soho, but actually it's your tent where you sleep. But I understand, how many people were there? It looked like hundreds of people on the video had come down. How many people came?
Yes, yesterday and before yesterday, there were many people, many of them, they came here, and today they're planning to apparently have a concert outside.
Oh my God.
I would say a few minutes. And there were two, Iran International TV station is outside now. I think Manoto, they will come here. London National, they were here just a few minutes ago. London, Britain, they were here. So it's, Omijan is, people are start realizing why I am here.
Yeah, I think you're really creating a buzz. And I want to say thank you to all the Iranians who come down. You've still got a few people who've set up tents next to you as well. How many are you there now?
5 more tents out there. And people are, they said they are preparing themselves, I think next week, 2 more to come and join us.
Amazing.
So they are calculating and they organizing their life, the daily life, to come and join us. But from the other side, we can look at the support that we get from inside of Iran. If you just look at it from Baluchistan, from Tehran yesterday, from different cities, they are confirming what I am standing for. It's absolutely right, and we put our finger on the right, I would say, point in this phase of our fight.
This is fantastic, and I'm sorry I was interviewing you. I was a bit like Emily Maitlis and John Sopel. I was trying to be like a British journalist.
No,
but I think
you've done a great job. But I think I feel it after day 40. I'm looking for words and I'm trying. It's slow me a little bit down, but I said from the day one, as long as I can, I carry on and I talk. When I can't, then I'm going to just lie down and just wait.
Yeah, but that's amazing. And what you're doing is that you're really raising awareness. And I hope that the British journalists will see this video, will get the word out. And I think that because what you're doing is for us, is to try and make Britain a safer place. So we really call on James Cleverly, Alicia Kearns, Tom Tugendhat, even Rishi Sunak, if they can come down and see you and at least have a chat with you about what you're doing. I think they're aware of it. But what you're asking is we want them to do it before you leave us, and before we don't even want you to go to hospital. So it's really amazing. I think we've run out of time now, but thank you, Wahid.
Thank you, Omid John, for being with me, and I thank everyone who they watched this video. And what can I say? I will continue this till we achieve it.
We are with you. We stand with you. We love you, and we'll always show you support. And if you don't know where he is, outside the Foreign Office from Parliament Square, if you turn left down Whitehall, just before Downing Street. King Charles Street is on the left-hand side. That's where you are. And it's I'll be coming. I don't live in London. I would be there every day, but I'll come down and see you this week as well.
Thank you, Omid. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, everybody. See you soon. Bye. Bye, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.